Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Dr. Kaharudin SEPM Home, and my name is Nurul Hidayati from English Education Department, class PBIA. In this video, I will answer 8 questions about language perception. Question number 1. What do you know of language perception? What phenomena can be used to represent a language perception? And my answer is language perception or language comprehension can be defined as a receptive process that occurs in a person's mind, where the mind will work to interpret meaning of auditory inputs in the form of language elements such as word, phrases, and sentences. A language perception can be represented through various phenomena, including phonetics or sound recognition, syntax or sentence structure understanding, and semantic about meaning comprehension, and then pragmatics or contextual interpretation, and additionally, neuroscientific measures like brain imaging can provide insight into how the brain processes language. Okay, next, question number 2. What do you know of language perception stage? And my answer is, in language perception, there are 4 stages, namely perception stage. This stage for noticing sound elements, phonological stress, intonation from auditory inputs, and then word recognition. Second, about word recognition stage for identifying words when perceiving the sound from the auditory inputs. And then the last, parsing stage for identifying sentences when perceiving the sound from the auditory inputs. And interpretation stage for understanding meaning from the interpretation of the auditory inputs. Question number 3. In your opinion, is word recognition a complex process? Why? Explain your reasons. And my answer is yes. Word recognition is a complex process involving various cognitive functions. This includes visual perception, language processing, and memory retrieval. When reading, the brain must quickly recognize and interpret visual symbols or letters, integrate them into meaningful units or words. The access relates lexical information stored in memory. Okay, next, question number 4. What do you know of the process of word recognition? Explain your answer. And okay, my answer. Felder and Tyler, 1987, explained that in the process of verbal word recognition, there are 3 phases, namely initial lexical context phases. The process of recognizing spoken words begins when auditory inputs is represent phonetically and phonologically segmented, make initial contact with the mental lexicon or words stored in the mind. Okay, next, selection pass. After the initial lexical context is made, where the segmented auditory input has been connected to the candidate target words or activated subset of lexicon. The next mental process occurs, namely, the mind carries out a selection process to determine the most appropriate words. Words that are relevant and appropriate to represent the input previously experienced hearing. Next, integration pass. After the selection stage is carried out, the final mental process is the integration stage. In this pass, the mind works to combine the words chosen through a selection process with the interpretation of meaning in auditory input. Okay, next question number 5. What do you know of a parsing stage? What process takes place in the stage, and what types of knowledge does the mind need to go through the process? My answer is parsing stage is the process of assembling words that have been recognized at the perception stage and assigning meaning attributes to a series of words so that auditory input can be understood as a sentence with a syntactic structure and semantic representation. Due E 2023 believes that in the parsing stage, a process called sentential processing is taking place, by which the mind attempts to understand the relationships between words in sentences and attempt to obtain meanings of the sentences representation from the auditory inputs. Abdullah EHE 8 and El Nadif IEI 2022 explains that at the sentence processing stage, the conceptual representation of the sentence is formed using two types of knowledge levels. That is, knowledge of articulatory coding refers to knowledge in identifying procedures factors from auditory inputs, such as the emphasis placed on words or word stress, and their use tone to mark difference in meaning or intonation. Next, furthermore, linguistic coding knowledge. Linguistic coding knowledge is divided into two levels, namely functional level and position level. Okay, next question number 6. What do you know about interpretation stage and discourse processing? My answer is the interpretation stage can be interpreted as a process where the mind is capable to show understanding of the speech heard when communicating. In this regard, Texler, M.G. Baby, M.D. and Pickering, M.G. to 1997 argue that interpretation occurs when the mind reaches the semantic aspect of speech. In addition, Dong, Y, and Ling Ji 2013 state that interpretation refers to the process of rearranging meaning in the target language speech to gain understanding. Discourse processing refers to the cognitive mechanisms involved in understanding and producing connected sequences of speech or written text, essentially. How we understand and produce coherent and meaningful discourse. This involves not only understanding individual words, but also the larger structure and relationships between them. Okay, next question number 7. What do you know of the tripartite model in the interpretation stage? Okay, my answer is Fraser 1987, Sparker G.R. and Rape D.N. 2010 specifically state that the mental processes that occur in discourse processing can be explained using a tripartite model. Model describes 3 levels of discourse processing, namely, first, the most basic level. At this level, the mind collects words based on phonological aspect and then assembles these words into sentences that are considered most relevant to represent their meanings on basis of the auditory input. The second, proportional level. At this level, the mind encodes the underlying meanings of language. Next, situational or mental level. At this level, the mind has a succeeded in inferring the meaning in speech effectively by combining all linguistic knowledge and discourse context in auditory input. This level provides the acquisition of successful comprehension. The last question is in sum. Can you explain the perception stage as a whole? Okay, my answer is DRC 1988 defines language perception as a psychological process carried out to attribute meaning to words, phrases, and sentences when people involved in verbal communication in compliance with this view. Tarjo Wijojo 2005 believes that language comprehension or language perception is our mind's effort to understand the meaning of words, phrases, clauses, sentences, or even discourse we listen to in verbal interactions. Okay, according to Warren P. 2013, the goal of language perception is to perceive sound elements as auditory inputs, then identify the sound as words, identify the sound as sentence, and finally arrive at the acquisitions of meaning from the message interpretation. Therefore, we state the language perception occurs in 4 stages, including the first stage is perception stage. This stage for noticing sound element, phonological stress, intonation and from auditory inputs. And the second stage is word recognition stage. This stage for identifying words when perceiving the sounds from the auditory inputs. And the last stage is parsing stage. This stage for identifying a sentence when perceiving the sounds from the auditory inputs. And then also the last interpretation stage, in stage for understanding meaning from the interpretation of the auditory inputs. I think that's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.